I'm so excited. This is the first of hopefully many Sealife Sciencey streams, which will go between a nice arty stream today and tomorrow is going to be a gaming stream. But there might be lots of different types of streams. I don't know. This is just a space for amazing marine loveliness, enthusiasm, learning lots about the sea life, as well as doing things in kind of hopefully a lot of different creative ways to help share that science rather than me just chatting about it. We're going to be doing lots of cool activities and cool stuff. And I'm so excited to start doing this, to start streaming. This is my first stream, so bear with me today as I run through either the technical problems that we're most likely to have or just trying to work out what's kind of best and getting kind of used to it because it's the first time I've kind of done it. But please, if you have any questions, check them in the kind of comments and let's have a chat as we go. A bit about me, if you've not been here before or you're watching this back. I'm a marine biologist. I absolutely love the ocean. I love the sea. I have a YouTube channel, which hopefully this is streaming on, as well as I'm now streaming on Twitch, where I have made hundreds and hundreds. It's not an over-exaggeration. I have made hundreds and hundreds of sea life themed videos, all about the wonders of the wonderful world of sea life, but a lot of it is about what you can see when you just put your wellies on and go rock pooling, so that you can go out and try and find some of these creatures yourself. And if you can't, then you can come along with me on my adventures and I will tell you and show you through all these videos. And so this streaming is kind of an additional stuff to that. I did a lot of art stuff on the channel in the past, but I thought, why not show you, first of all, how long it takes to make the art. Hopefully not too long, but we might be here for a few hours today. And then have a chat with everyone while I do it, rather than me filming it separately and then putting it up and then answering your comments. Why not come along, come and grab your paints, grab your sketchbook, grab a pencil and just come along and try and and just try and draw along with me or ask questions or learn stuff. It's hopefully going to be a lot of fun. So today, the original plan, and I have so many ideas for what to do in the streaming channel. So many ideas. The original plan was to try and catch one of the deep sea live streams and draw it. But the three that I know of, two are in port and one of them is doing sonar work at the moment, which means that they're going along the seabed and scanning it. There's lots of pretty colours, but they're not showing like the feed for the sea life stuff. But if that's interested, please come back and let me know, because I will be doing that. I will hopefully time it better so that one of them is out and we can go and paint along as they go and discover all these deep sea, wonderful sea creatures. Hopefully a few monsters in the way, like deep ocean. On that, I am streaming tomorrow at 7 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, or in British sometime, UK time. And I'll be starting Subnautica, which is a marine-themed game which I've wanted to play for ages, but I've saved it until I knew I could start streaming it because it's definitely something I wanted to share with you all. But today, the new plan, which I have chucked together, is to paint a sea slug. Now, I want to do loads of stuff on this channel. I'll show you some examples of some of the other stuff. For example, I can't wear this, you can see, because of this. And I thought I had to include this on the first stream because this is the stuff I go for. Oh no, the anemone. Oh, it's opposite on the camera. The anemone's gone. But so this is, you can see that I've only been doing stuff online because the back of this is completely blank. So you could just see it like this. Maybe that could be a stream, is putting the back of this hat on. But we could do stuff like this. I want to do stuff where I make like hat stuff where I make like sculptures, or I've got so many art supplies, or I want to be for you to all kind of vote what you want to do. We could be doing, making costumes or making sculpture things, making hats, doing all this weird and wonderful stuff. But as this is my first stream, I wanted to go back to the basics. And it's not basics, it's just it's my go-to default thing when I want to do art. And that is watercolors and painting just a really fun, amazing experience that I had for some really fun, amazing sea creatures. And I thought, I mean, I've had so many, I've seen so many wonderful things, but I wondered what I wanted to paint today and what I wanted to paint. And I haven't really had a chance to paint in a while. So I want to get warmed up, but I just wanted something fun. And one of the funnest encounters I've had was with this incredibly colourful sea slug. For those of you who don't know, a sea slug in the sea are much better than land. Don't click off if you don't like slugs. I will show you now immediately why sea slugs are better than land slugs. And if you're a biologist watching and not a marine biologist, don't worry. You can come on here and comment and try and convince me, but I will continually just tell you that land slugs are far worse than sea slugs. Started the stream off early by coming for for biologists, apparently. This is the sea slug we are painting today. Look at it. Look at this cutie. It's a very distinguished gentleman with his moustache, little feelers, which are called rhinophores, and a whole load of colourful, just amazing, amazing colours. And I'll talk a bit more about nudibranchs as we go, but I just wanted to like someone say hi. Hi to you too. I just wanted to show you how cool these are. And if you just joined today, we are painting this. So if you wanted to go grab a bit of paint, a pencil, a bit of paper, join along with me, please feel free to. If not, I'm just going to bombard you with some cool sea slug facts and you can watch along. And I just love this so much. And it's brightly coloured, shows that in the UK, we don't just have lots of like brown, and people think brown is boring stuff. I still think it's really cool, but the typical stuff. And it was so teeny tiny. And I just show you, look, it was like the size of my fingernail. And this is on just a rock in the middle of a beach in the ocean. This very delicate, very cute. Look at it, little eye was very slowly wiggling its way along, and I managed to spot it. So I am super happy that I did. So we're going to paint this today because I just wanted a splash of color. I wanted to put a bit of character, a bit of personality into this already very characterful sea slug, and so we're going to do that. And if you have any questions or any suggestions of what we should be doing, please jump in. I'll just work out how to do this. I'm going to get rid of this, I think. Or shall I leave it up just in case people wanted to paint it too? Let's see what this looks like, but with this. Can we swap this round? We can. Oh, good. See, I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to the streaming. It's going to work, guys. Oh, wait. No, I can't because it's a slideshow. Don't worry, we're going to get rid of this. If anyone wants to see the picture of the nudibranch, it is actually on my Instagram, which I can share now. So if people do want to go check out my Instagram and find the actual picture, you might have to scroll back a bit. It was a while ago. But you can go to my Instagram and find that now. So I'm going to remove this and swap to Mini Me and Articam, which is this one, I think. Yeah. Cool. So now you can see my hands. So I'll just get up the picture for myself to look at. I honestly don't know how long this stream's going to go on for today. I'm going to try and get all of the pictures done. We'll see. We'll go for however long I can kind of get this done for. So if anyone is interested what watercolor paper I like, because I like nerding out over marine supplies. I like this brand of watercolor paper. It's from Cass Arts. It's just a cool art shop in the UK, but I like the stuff that's rough. I think that means it's not cold pressed. I've never really worked out how to do it. I just try and go and find the watercolor paper and feel it. I don't really like the super smooth watercolor paper. I think it doesn't make the paint dry as well. When it dries, it has like that like line around it at the edges, which I don't know what the arty term for that is, but yeah, not my favorite. So I'm gonna grab a piece of this paper. This is when having if anyone's noticing my desk is absolutely covered in all of this stuff, it is because this is now my specific arty desk, and behind me I have a nice non-painted desk, and this is because I've been doing paint for years and years and years and years on this desk, which I like very much, and I just give it into getting arty. For anyone in the UK, everyone could be a bit sad, like Paper Chase, which was a really cool, well, it was like a stationery shop. I always have a stationery shop, has now closed, but in said getting it to close, I picked this up, this amazing pack of washi paper tapes, which is really good. I like to outline my paintings like a little mini frame and then pull it off at the end to give a clean and crisp line. And I had gone through all of my previous stuff. I hadn't opened this before because I thought, oh, I'll open it on stream because it looks really nice all together. And now I can't get the sellotape off. Give me a second. Hey. Oh, what colour should we go for? There's like absolute ton. Oh, that's so many. Does everybody? I imagine everybody else gets as much joy from seeing different coloured art supplies as I do. Look at all of the different colours. This is going to be a nightmare to put back in the box. Oh, okay. If anyone watching wants to pick what colour we use, they are more than welcome to. There's so many. Look how satisfying that is. I want to just make like a picture of these, like a nice smiley face. Oh, look, this is quite a good smiley face there. I also realised I'm hoping this way. I'm doing this through StreamYard, but I haven't actually checked out if it's on like my YouTube channel or Twitch. Let me just check that while it's going, because I think that would be good to check. And also I'd be quite interested to see what it... my own channel now. Then we'll get into the... And we'll get into the art. Oh, it is! It's on Twitch. That's really weird. That's really cool. Nice. Well, I'm just checking. This is not really... Yes, it's live. Wicked. Awesome. Okay. I thought I'd just double check, because can you imagine you go through all this and then I know yeah, said a hype, but okay, so we are going to go with what we're going to go with color wise. I think we should pick a nice bright yellow, because that will not match the painting whatsoever. Let me just tidy these up. Oh, we're going to have a tower of tape. I'm going to be interested to see if I can like talk and paint. I usually listen to music while I paint. And I looked into it very quickly, but because I was planning to do the deep sea live stream, I make sure that's in the picture. I wasn't going to use music because we could listen to the lovely deep sea scientists doing their thing. And then I didn't know what the rules were about doing. So you can tell I'm such a new... I don't know too much about streaming, as I couldn't work out the rules for copyrighted music if you're streaming on Twitch and YouTube, if that makes a difference, or if I would have to... I didn't want to just do this live stream and then have to take it down because it's copyright music. So I thought I'd leave it to next time and you just get to listen to my voice for however long this takes. But feel free to put music on in the background of your own one. That was the other thing. Let me know what you think about whether you want to listen to copyrighted music on here, or you'd much just prefer to like put your own music on in the background and just kind of listen to what you wanted to listen to, because that is perfectly valid too. Okie dokie. Got our very bright yellow, completely not matching bit of washi tape. I like to go either with the washi tape, I either go for the ones that are matching or ones that are completely opposite, because it like looks slightly nicer in the reveal if you take off something that doesn't match, because you're like, get that tape off. Or it looks nice with it matching as you kind of paint along. Okie dokie. I don't know if I've painted this one before. I don't think I have at all. So I usually start off with just a couple of like marks of like maybe where the corners of a bit of art might be, because I have a massive tendency to completely draw something like the head and then the body doesn't fit into the rest of the painting. I'll probably have to keep readjusting, but this I think just helps get into context where you want it to kind of go. And then I just start sketching out. This is when I find out I can't actually talk and draw. I find the drawing the hardest part by far of doing like the actual sketching stuff than I do kind of the rest of it. I would say that like 50% of my time is probably spent making it look half decent and correct, and then the rest of the time is spent like I can paint and draw quicker, I think. I think I've made it even smaller than I thought I might. Interesting. I'm just trying to work out if that's what I want to do. Do I want to make it small and then I can fit lots of marine-y things around it? Maybe. So has anyone seen a sea slug before? Let me know, because I'll be very intrigued to find out what you saw, why you saw it, how you felt about the experience. If you haven't found one, I went through a phase for, years, where I tried to spot them and I couldn't. And then I listened to who I've now actually like been rock pooling with. This is because we're on stream and my memory is now failing me. But Cornish rock pools. I don't know why I can't remember her amazing name. I just can't. I can only remember the blog title now. Oh no! If you see this, I'm so sorry. It's really just the stress of doing the first stream. It's not that I don't know your name. I'm trying to find. I've got her book literally there. No. Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up. It's gonna bother me that I can't remember. Heather. Ugh, sorry, I had to do that. I feel like I'm being a terrible human there. And I listened to this talk that she did for, I think, one of the wildlife trusts during one of the lockdowns, and it was just this like incredibly insightful kind of talk on all of these amazing nudibranchs and where you would find them. And I just thought, how are you finding all of these? They live under rocks, they live on seaweeds, they live at the bottom of the shore, they live at the top of the shore sometimes. Like, there's not, I mean, they're more likely to be found at the bottom, but they live everywhere. And they're just tiny, and they're not particularly rare in the sense that like they're doing bad or they're not doing okay, but they're just small. They blend in, and I just couldn't believe I hadn't found one yet. And then the advice was just like, "Don't worry, you'll get your eye in, and you'll see them soon." And someone else had I read one of, I don't know if it was her blog post or someone commenting like in the talk, had said, "Oh, I went out rock pooling with her, and I couldn't believe it. Like I was like looking and looking, and then she came along and she just found all of these amazing, incredible nudibranchs that I'd never seen before. And I'd been rock pooling here for ages." And I kind of felt like that. I felt like, how could I have gone rock pooling so much and never seen them? I must be looking at the wrong things. I started going and just looking in new places, under like spending ages looking across all these little seaweeds, bringing zoomy in stuff. Like I've got this like really cute, amazing little, like I suppose portable. It looks like a portable microscope, but it's not a microscope. It's just like a hand lens that's kind of like shaped a bit microscopy. All of this different cool like stuff, and I just thought, how am I not finding them? And then one day I found one, and then a couple of trips later I found another one, and then all of a sudden and I mean, touch wood with this, this year, or this like past year, I don't actually think I've been rock pooling and not found a nudibranch on a trip. And now I'm just jinxed it, I know, by saying that out loud. But it's just weird to me that it's been so long where, I mean, years and years of searching, and I did just kind of get my eye in, and I've just been really lucky and spotted all of these like amazing, incredible nudibranchs over the past couple of months or last year. And it's just been really astounding to like get to see these incredible creatures who are so colorful and so different, and it's just so unexpected. Like, I know I've said that you can find them everywhere, but because you can find them everywhere, they like really surprise you when they do pop up, because you don't find them as often as everything else, and you're not expecting them to be there. For example, if I wanted to find a crab, I'd look under a load of rocks. I'd be very surprised if I found a crab like anywhere else, or like running and scuttling about. And so I'm not surprised when I find a cool crab under a rock, or I'm not surprised when I find a particular bit of seaweed at a certain zone on the shore, because I know that seaweed grows at low to mid thing, and it likes sheltered shore. So if I go to a sheltered shore in the area where I know it grows, I'm likely going to find it. Whereas a nudibranch is like, could be absolutely anywhere, and you still wouldn't find it. Yeah, so I'm really intrigued to see if anyone has managed to find them, where you found them, and if you're not looking for them, I can, a bit later on in the stream, I'll drop some tips and hints about how I found them. I'm just saving a few topics just in case I run out of things to talk about, but I can hear my family laughing at me at that statement, and my friends, because I don't think I've ever run out of something to talk about. I should have maybe been streaming for years, because I am well renowned for, I suppose, not being able to shut up. So I don't think running out of stuff to say is going to be a bit of an issue. And as a science communicator and a marine biologist, I mean, it is my job to talk about sea life now. So just do my job, everyone, by continuously talking about nudibranchs. Oh, this is so cute. Has my hand just been completely blocking this the entire time? Probably. Ooh, sorry, everyone. I don't want this to be too like exact. The reason I picked this is that I wanted just something that I could have fun painting and just chuck a load of colour at. So it's going to be, I'm hoping like it goes a bit, well, it might not, but I'm hoping it comes out a bit more cartoony, a bit over the top compared to what it actually is, because I want to kind of capture the cute personality of this little distinguished gentleman, and have a bit of fun while doing it. I think that's half bad. That's like halfway there. That's pretty good in terms of drawing. I mean, it is just a load of blobs. I mean, that's probably why I draw sea creatures a lot. They are just weird blobs. That doesn't matter about perspective. What am I going to do about the background? Let's have a look at what is surrounding this teeny tiny lovely. We've got some seaweeds. We've got some tube worms. We've got some barnacle shells. I don't actually want to put a barnacle in it. Shocked, I know, because barnacle's my favourite, but actually those are pretty small. So it's pretty small. Like a barnacle next to this would like take up a lot of the room. So maybe not. Maybe I'll just go abstract. Let's go abstract with the abstract. That's what I mean. I'm talking like it's like fancy stuff. I mean, instead of drawing on it, maybe I'll just paint in some like loose stuff and see where that goes. I usually draw out a background before I draw it in, but why not roll with it? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll put in a few lines. Maybe we will have like a cheap one that comes like here. Maybe. Just put that line in there to try and work out, like, if I was going to paint it a bit like a picture, where would I draw the blur? Like, this would be in focus and that might be less in focus, just to give a bit more prominence with that. But who knows? Okay, let's get on to painting. That was actually probably the quickest I think I've ever drawn anything ever. I've still got my Twitter banner up. I don't want that up anymore. I only thought that would pop up for a bit. Whoops. I'll put this up then. My website. Just in case anyone's watching, I am now a freelance marine biologist and science communicator. So this is technically my job, which is amazing. But I also do a load of cool stuff, like training and videos for people and doing talks and stand-up comedy and all that jazz. So if anyone wants to chat about that or hire me, it's all on my website, as well as some awesome identification guides. Or like a site where I've painted my way through a lot of sea creatures and put a load of photos that I've taken, all free, that you can go and check out and go and use that to kind of work out what you're spotting. I'm hoping to keep that updated. I think there's about 75 species on there so far. And then, I mean, there's hundreds I could keep adding, so we'll keep going. I don't think this is on there yet, so maybe I'll have to add this afterwards. And it's like done with trying to think now. It's organized not by like all the fancy scientific terms, but it's like, does the thing that you saw move? Yes. Okay. Well, if the thing that you saw moves, then it's in this category. And if the thing that you saw moves, does it have this many arms? It kind of works its way like through that, which is good. Now I have this like little piddly, tiny, terrible brush, which is way too small actually thinking about it, which is not good. I had a big sort out of all of my art supplies, and a lot of the brushes didn't make the cut because I'd used them so much. Completely forgot that I'd done that, and then came around to do this and realised I didn't actually have a load of brushes. So adding that to the list of things to buy soon. But it's fine, I found one and it'll work. So watercolour wise, I maybe do it differently to other people in that I like to get all the colour on and then I add pen over the top. And I also am very layered with watercolours, which obviously, I don't know, it might not be obvious if you've not used watercolours before. The great thing about watercolours is that they allow you to keep changing stuff. So you could, these layers that I'm kind of adding here, these like pops of colour, lots of different bits that might be different things. If I wanted to, I could probably get rid of this colour in with another colour, or when I added other colours on top, it could kind of merge to it. They're not like set, because as soon as you add water to it again, it makes colour. And this is the reason that, like, I mean, this looks atrocious. These look incredibly messy, but there is method to my madness, is that I love having a ton of just different colours and tones and pops of layers of colour. And to get that I mix colours a lot, but then I kind of save them for next time. And instead of using like the watercolours from the actual palette, which I use to like mix the colours, maybe I want to make sure that I can like, I don't know, it's never quite the same. It sometimes gets frustrating because you might have like a big section and you want to replicate that colour and make that whole section the same colour. In which case I'll try and clear a bit of a palette and try and mix a bigger amount of that colour up together and hope that I have enough. But I like the fact that each time I go to put something down, like another patch of colour or another stroke, that it won't ever quite be the same again. It makes you not know what the painting is going to completely look like by the end, and it's a lot of fun. And it just, I don't know, I just like that watercolor paints give you a bit more of that freedom to keep doing that. And also, I'm not the best painter in terms of like making something look completely accurate and real. That just takes, I mean, maybe I could do it. Maybe that's like a challenge for a live stream, is making something look as realistic as possible. It just takes incredible dedication and time and skills to kind of do that. And so I automatically find myself just knowing that that's not going to be the end product, so why not get a bit extra artsy with it anyway. And I forgot my point. Oh, and that was my point. I know that I'm going to go over the whole thing with black pen later, because I really struggle to not go over it in black pen because it stresses me out not to. I absolutely love outlining stuff in black pen. It's a real, if you look at all my artwork on my previous stuff, it literally all is outlined in black pen. And so I kind of think I can make up for my lack of realistic painting skills with a bit of like black pen to turn the tones in. But it also means I haven't got that good at like painting in shadows or things, because I know I'll just go over it with black pen and dots and lines to add that kind of contrast. But that's my style. And I find that enjoyable. I hope that as these streams go on, I will pick more and more chaotic and challenging things to do, not only to push myself, but also to be more entertaining than me being like, yes, I know what I'm doing with this painting. I kind of want to do stuff that's like, oh, what are you doing? Why is this person having to do all this stuff. You're like, oh, she's done this to herself. She's decided to make a giant felt nudibranch cape, which I have done for a science show before. And I have a science show coming up, so I'm actually having to do a load of props for that. I should check. So that's pretty good. This would be a lot quicker if my brush wasn't tiny. If you're watching this later and you have like any questions or stuff, then please, I mean, either comment or get in touch over like social media. I think you can comment after it's live. Can you not? I don't know. If you can, then please do. I will keep checking them. And if you are watching and have any questions, chuck them my way. We can have a chat whilst I finish up painting this nudibranch. Just adjusting the window now. I'm also having to, I don't know, I'm gonna try and take a few like videos for I don't know if you can see it, I'm holding the camera. I guess to adjust the setup, I think. Originally I was gonna, it's a very odd, slightly annoying setup because of how StreamYard runs their site. I thought I could add a couple of cameras, but not able to do that just yet. So I thought I could stream on my camera. So I might look at starting like using OBS or something, another form of stream, like another type of streaming thing that might just be a bit more of a learning curve, but give me a bit more flexibility so that I can kind of learn what I'm doing. Because it's annoying in a slight sense that I'm having to. I mean, the camera setting, I hope it looks good. It looks fine, actually. It's coming through from my phone. But I'd ideally like to have it like extra good quality coming through from this. And then I can just pick up my phone every now and again to film some little art bits for TikTok. Help get the word out there of these Sealife stream sessions. Ooh, that is green. That is. There's a couple of colours on this set that I haven't touched very much, and every now and again I get tempted to do it, and I'm like, oh, that's why, because that is not a normal colour. That is a very bright colour. Luckily, you can mix watercolours kind of on the paper, so if you put something down you don't exactly like, just go over it with another colour. Makes it easier. people have a favourite sea creature? Hopefully by the end of this, I will be convincing you that nudibranchs are your favourite, but we shall see. So it's coming through a very like pastel kind of thing. I'm doing this kind of deliberately just to make sure that when I go and paint the nudibranch, that's going to be the thing that like pops out color wise. And then I'll go back in and kind of bring the details out in the background and make sure that it's a bit more forward. Massive fan of just having stuff in pastel colors, which probably probably kind of reflects. There's not a lot of pastel stuff in Hot Pulling, but there kind of is. You could go either way, actually, thinking about it. What I do like is I like the kind of variety of colours. That I'm kind of putting all these colours down here, kind of thinking about what creatures I could turn each of the bits of colours into. And there's just such a variety because there's so much incredible stuff that can live just on the bottom of a rock. In the middle of the beach, in the middle of the ocean. It's really quite astounding. So good for art flexibility because you can just mess around and put whatever you want down and then work it out later. But also great for biodiversity and the ocean loveliness. So if anyone joining, we are painting an amazing, awesome sea slug, which is also known as a nudibranch. I've said this very early on in the stream, and I will keep continually saying that sea slugs are way better than land slugs, and land slugs give sea slugs a bad name. People don't like land slugs. Now, I don't have anything against land slugs in particular, other than they are just less good than sea slugs. This is a completely unbiased opinion from a marine biologist. So take that as you will. But it's nice to get a chance to show off the sea slugs, which I think less people know about. And I've also got it's my t-shirt too. So I'm themed in clothing and in painting. I have quite a lot of sea slug t-shirts because they're beautiful and amazing. And if I'm gonna spend my money on clothes, I want that to be on sea slug themed things or marine things in general. I actually have so much marine clothes that as I was getting dressed for the stream today and thinking about what I could wear, I was like, no, I mean, that's too nice to get paint on. I'll save that one for a special occasion. I've now got to the point with novelty clothing that I have layers of things. I'm like, I will save that for that's more of a this thing, and that's more of a this, which I find great. Like that's the level I want. I want I want so much choice that I'm like, yeah. Whereas this top is like, I'll go rock crawling in this and do all these activities in this. This is fine. I've got some. I'll save my fancy stuff for fancy occasions. Which I imagine for me is just like going somewhere that's not going to get paint or seawater on, which doesn't actually happen very often. I'm usually either out painting or going to the sea. So there you go. That, you know, what now constitutes my version of fancy. And it's not getting covered. It's just not getting covered in seawater or paint. Just going to film a bit for the TikTok. Anyone has any questions, chuck them my way. Say hi. Say what your favourite sea creature is, even if it's not a sea slug. I will try and convince you what it is a sea slug by the end of the stream, but I promise I won't judge what it actually is if it's not a sea slug. You can see the camera popping out the stream now. It's very interesting having to like also think about all the ways that you can kind of make stuff for all of the different platforms now. It's quite creatively enjoyable in that you have to think of like, oh, I do this one thing, and you can go in all these different ones. It's just got to remember to do it. Oh, I got to remember to film that in vertical, and oh, I got to remember to film this horizontally, and oh, that what we're going to do for our live stream, and what can I take from that? But it also means that you have just like you have so many more ways now to reach more people. And if the point of me doing science communication and sharing how awesome the ocean is to also share it with like kind of as many people as possible, then having all of these amazing platforms that share and kind of tap into each person's like what they prefer with their way that they have their content, or how they watch it, or what formats they want. Having more options is always just going to be great to kind of to kind of see and share what you want. So but it does just mean you're going to see a few like weird bits where I'm like pointing the camera at the thing because I want to capture a certain moment where I'm doing this. For example, I can not only recording me painting, but I'll record me like mixing paints too, because it looks cool. So I should say a bit more about why sea slugs are so awesome, and especially since we're just getting to the point at which I am trying to paint. I'm going to need that actually. I'm trying to paint this, so I'm just going to bear with me while I film my first painting of this bit. Bit of concentration required. Just clocked what I could have done. I could have painted around them because they're not bright white. They're slightly off. Okay, good to know. So they're particularly awesome because of what I am. What are they called? It turns out I should probably write this down before I come on because it's all going out of my brain. So what I'm painting now are the serrata of a nudibranch, C-E-R-A-T-A, I think. Not that it really matters, but just in case I'm saying it wrong, you can go away and Google and kind of see how to spell it right. Now, serrata are really awesome. And lots of sea slugs kind of have this, or spaces that do this, because they go around and they eat things that are kind of cool, that we like, but do a particular job. So nudibranchs absolutely love to eat anemones, hydroids, anemones and hydroids, really, I think, here in the UK. They're the two kind of big main ones. And you know why? Because they steal it from them. It is the perfect example of you are what you eat, because they eat these anemones and hydroids, and they can sting. So if you touch an anemone, and if you're touching sea life, I really highly always recommend that you don't touch sea life unless you're very gentle and it's kind of a thing. And lots of people like to prod anemones. You shouldn't really prod anemones because it disturbs them and lets out the water, especially if they're out of water. They need to keep all the water in, so you need to keep the you need to let them keep their water in. So if they're out of water, I wouldn't touch them. And also you have to be slightly careful because obviously it's stinging stuff. A lot of the anemones in the UK won't harm you, but some you might have a reaction to some. And outside of the UK, there's probably anemones that are even worse. So just be careful, please. Just be very careful if you are touching sea life, to always take proper safety precautions. But if you did brush up against an anemone when you're out rock pooling, you would feel that it feels sticky, and that is actually them trying to harpoon you with hundreds and thousands of teeny tiny little stinging cells. Now, we have big, nice, thick skin as humans. These are meant to hunt tinier things. So that's why it just feels sticky to us, because they're not going to go through the skin. They're just going to kind of hit the skin and go, oh, that didn't do very much. And then they're going to carry on. But if you were a tiny little bit of plankton or a bit of something else, then you're going to be slightly in trouble, because it's going to sting you. They're going to and then they're going to use their tentacle stuff to bring it in and eat it from their stomach, which is an incredibly, really, really cool technique for something that doesn't move very fast, to try and catch things. Well, it doesn't move at all. They do kind of move. Some anemones can move, but for creatures that choose to spend most of their lives not moving or can't move very fast, to adapt to be able to sting something as it goes past and eat it that way, it's just fascinating to me and very, very cool. And hydroids are the same. And hydroids, it's a good thing to explain hydroids while I let this bit dry. Hydroids are imagine a plant, like a normal flower plant that you would draw, especially as a kid, with it's just got a nice stalk and it's got little bits coming off of it, and there's got flowers. Imagine if that is a jellyfish. Now, that might not make much sense, but that's basically what hydroids are. They are like clear tubes where the stalk and the stem of the plant would be, and where the flowers are like upside down jellyfish with little tentacles on like this that look maybe a bit like little anemones. And it's very similar. They're very similar to jellyfish, and this is where it gets slightly confusing, because if you're a hydroid could just live as a plant forever, a plant in that state where it looks like a plant, lives on a couple of stalks with lots of little feelery things that likes to sting and eat, just like an anemone. But some jellyfish decide that they want to spend part of their life cycle as a hydroid. So if that's the case, they will live at this plant thing for a bit, but then the little flowery bits will bud off and float away as baby jellyfish that grow into big jellyfish, which is why it gets slightly confusing that hydroids can both be baby jellyfish and just hydroids as of their own. I always do kind of wonder if they're a bit like, they think that like the jellyfish are like tourists, and they're like, oh, it's summer again, it's going to get really busy because everyone's visiting for their summer holidays, and that's going to be when all the baby jellyfish rock up to or something, which makes me laugh. Whether they do that talking again, who knows. And then so they eat this stuff, and what they do is they steal the stinging cells from the anemones and the hydroids, and eat them. They eat them, and then they put them in the serrata. So these serrata are basically tubes full of these stinging cells, and they don't use the stinging cells themselves to hunt. They're not going around and trying to capture things by bashing into these cells, I don't think. But what they do is they make themselves super colourful, which usually in a place where you are a tiny, no bigger than a fingernail thing in a giant ocean, you want to be blending in as much as possible. You do not want that big fish or that bird or that crab to know that you are there and have its 11's snack. But if you are filled with lots of horrible stinging cells, you do want them to know that you're not that you're there, but that they remember the other ones of the species that it has eaten and gone, ouch, that hurt, that is not good for me. So they are all mostly brightly coloured and don't blend in to remind creatures to not eat them, which I just find absolutely fascinating. I think it's like an incredibly awesome survival technique, which I think is used. I mean, it's the same with like wasps and bees. They sting, so they're brightly coloured and striped to not let them know that you're there. But this just blows my mind because it's a slug. It's like, look, I'm slow, I'm small, I might not have a lot going for me on the whole, don't eat me, I'm ferocious front, but I'm gonna, and it doesn't even produce it itself. It doesn't go, but I'm gonna produce some like wicked stinging venomy thing. It goes, no, you know what? I can't even be bothered to do that myself. What I want to do is I want to go and I want to eat what other people are making because they don't move very fast. Those anemones and hydroids aren't going anywhere. They don't need those stinging cells, really. Especially not when I'm going to eat them, because they ain't going to be around anymore. And so they do that, and then they go off and they and they steal them. They want to be like, I want to look pretty, and I want to be deadly. Can we blame them? In fact, I think we should praise them. So that's why they're so awesome. All because of some very cool serrata that can store the stolen body parts of another organism. Now, you didn't think when I was painting that pastel background and talking about the wonders of the sea life that we would get to that sentence. But we did. And you know why? Because sea life is weird and wonderful. And I like to share especially the weird stuff. I mean, the sea is just the weirdest place ever. And the place I feel most at home. So when it comes to like watercolors, because you can keep layering upon layer, even if you use the same color but like kind of layer it twice, it goes slightly darker, which is nice. So you can start to build up patches of tone or texture or just visually interesting stuff by immediately kind of waiting we're waiting for it to dry first, because otherwise it's just going to blend in and dry with the same patch. But as soon as it's dry, you can kind of go back over and do it again. And that's why I like using the palette where it's slightly different mixed stuff, because if I've mixed two colors that look slightly similar, they're a bit different, when I go back over it, it will just add that little extra something. Whereas if it was just kind of the same color, again, it would add that depth, but it wouldn't add that slightly different bit. Ooh, nice. Looking good, looking good. I feel afraid to ask this question given how much I've just spent the last hour talking, but there is such a thing as like those like silent live streams where it's silent. Let me know if you prefer that. I would hope not, given that I do want to share science facts, but we could have portions of stuff where I just don't talk and we can all go and just watch me paint for a bit. But yeah, I would also kind of hope that like just the comments being like, yeah, silent one would be better. Maybe wouldn't come forward just so I can continue sharing marine biology things. Oh, that banner's still up too. I keep leaving the banners up. I'm sure I must have had. No, I don't know what I'm doing. I can say I'm sure before it was like 30 seconds and would disappear. Cool. We're getting there with our wonderful little sea slug. Which is, again, it was no bigger than my fingernail. I still can't get over that. I still think that that is, like, incredible. And I haven't put or painted in the blue. I'm hoping I have it, because I think I have. That's green. I have a metallic blue Posca pen, which I can add in later. If you don't know what these are, they're really cool. They're like acrylic paint, but in a pen, so you can draw on kind of everything and it gets it nice and exact. And so I might play around with using that, because that blue is so electric. And this is a metallic blue that it would be quite a shame to, like, not it would be quite a shame not to do that. Annoyingly though, they all come wrapped in plastic for no reason. So get it off first. And this was like within a packet. This is a plastic pen in a plastic wrapper within a plastic packet. Makes no sense to me. Okay, I'm going to jump back in, and I think I'll do the background and try and bring some of that forward. And then I'll come back to the new bank and add a bit more to that too. Again, I like to do loads of different layers. At this size as well, like, there's just lots of like small, tiny stuff. So it's probably more about leaving space for there to be the idea that something is there that will grow, rather than It's quite interesting watching like me painting, but then you can see like a really far away version on my screen as I watch, like what you guys are kind of seeing. Which is like interesting to see because of how much like a further away perspective helps to kind of see the bigger picture. I'm just kind of like, I suppose maybe this is what I meant by like abstract when I said abstract earlier, not massively paying attention to like I'm imagining this is a bit of a sponge. This is probably like a bit of like, this thing called diplosoma, which is a bit snotty. I know that sounds a really weird description, but if you look at it or touch it, that's kind of what it feels like, or looks like. Is it diplosoma or one of the? That might be the wrong name. Diplosoma might be. I don't think it is. I don't know. Without looking it up, I'm not entirely sure. So it's like giving impressions of things that could be real, but without the detail that like they super are, because I want the focus to be on my little sea slug friend. But I don't want it to look like it's floating in nothingness. Kind of hoping to use this like brown to kind of like tie a bit of a flow together. Maybe where in the actual picture it's more about like the marine debris that's like settled in between cracks and a bit of texture. Because there is rock, but it's almost completely covered in like either sand or lots of other lovely marine-y things. So it's tended to more painting the background than it has like actually painting the nudibranch, which is good actually because I do need a bit more background practice. I have more practice painting the sea life, but less on learning how to do actual backgrounds of stuff. If anyone decides to like paint along, I would love to see the finished thing. Like if you tag me on social medias, then I would love to see what you're getting up to painting, or if you go out and find nudibranchs and take a picture, I'd love to see it. I could be putting these in too early because this will be very difficult to change what's behind these little bits of seaweed, but I just wanted to see what it started to look like if we added a bit more like depth, because obviously you're seeing these like come up from the ground. The next bit's gonna be slightly tricky. It's about getting the same like background in as the front a bit more, but like slightly less exact, so that it doesn't look like they're just floating above a load of pastel colors. But also I think the background is meant to, to help the nudibranch kind of pop. It is supposed to be a bit lighter. We shall see if I am successful. Like, cut to the end of the video, she was not successful. And I will say, I should have maybe said this even super earlier, is that like doing art should completely be about fun. You should, make mistakes and kind of embrace there's too much time spent worrying about whether the art at the end you think will be incredible and amazing and worth doing or sharing or whatever it is. But if you're having fun doing it, then it is completely worth every second you spend doing it. So this is kind of why I wanted to make sure I made the time to stream, because I could think in the back of my mind, why do you want to keep trying to do all this art stuff and test it all out in front of however many people are ever going to watch this, or to be online forever for loads of people to watch it? But it's about enjoying it, having fun, hopefully sharing some science along the way in different creative endeavors, and making time for it, and keep practicing. I hope that maybe if this is if I keep streaming for years and years, then I could come back and paint this again one day and just see how much I've kind of improved or not improved. I don't know yet, do I? That would be quite interesting. You'd be like, well, she's kind of improved, but she's not really. And I just think it's that is what the focus should be on. It shouldn't be on producing these incredible, amazing artworks that need to be shared. It should just be, if you're having fun and you want to try a new technique, why not have fun? Why not share it with everybody else? Why not do it at the same time, or ask other people to get involved? Have a bit of sense of community around it. Let's all just have a laugh and try it together. which is good. And so this is quite a serene, I think, stream. Just because it was my first one, I wanted something where I could just focus on figuring out the tech, figuring out being in front of the camera and actually painting for however many hours it is in front of a camera, and get used to that. But as time goes on, I want to do like more adventurous, more fun stuff. And I think that is kind of where I'm really going to like be doing some stuff that could go wrong or be really fun or really silly. And that's going to be, I'm really excited to get into that. So I'll start getting into that kind of stuff soon when I figured out the camera angles and all that stuff. I think having the background faded is kind of working. What do you think? Do we think it's working? I also think the gaming stream tomorrow is going to be really good. I never streamed gaming before, so like I'm gonna have to get used to it. And I never actually played like properly, not on a console. It'd be on my computer I'm playing on, so that should be interesting. But I'm so excited. I think the game is going to be amazing, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I aim to make these weekly. It won't be, I mean, ideally I do this every Sunday, but I am traveling and busy for the next couple of Sundays, so I'm trying to swap them to like a different time. So if everyone make sure that they are following me on kind of social media and subscribed and stuff, then you will get notifications that I'm going live, and I'll update everyone on social media, like timing, pre that, so you can get prepared and let people kind of know what I'm up to. Makes it look like it's going for a tiny little, very sparse seaweed forest. Okay. that has come out background-wise quite colourful. I quite like that. Oh, I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm tempted to not touch it anymore. Just because I think we'd lose the sea slug a bit. We haven't obviously got the blue in there yet. But I think it might be time to start doing pen and ink. I think. I mean, that's up to me, isn't it? But you know, when you get to the point in a painting where you're like, oh, I don't know. Especially because it's recorded. I've done this before. So when I film all time lapses, I've done a lot of art on my YouTube channel stuff. I'll like watch a time lapse back of me doing the art stuff. And I'll be like, oh, it was great. That's when I ruined it. And then it's like another 20 seconds of time lapse. Like, oh no. So it's a real skill with learning when to leave it. But let's have a look through my pens. I've got like a octopus, very slightly dirty now because it comes everywhere with me. Octopus thing, but I obviously love some pens, so I've got lots of different types of pens and things. White pens for highlights, which I love. I use all the time. Let's see what we can grab out of this. I will say I haven't said what the name of the new bank is yet. It is Facelina auriculata. If I don't know if I can comment that here. I post that. The sea slug's name. It's like species name. Okay. We could call this nudibranch Brian. I don't think it quite fits. So come up with a name, please. Let me know what you think. Again, just doing that. Good old TikTok kind of filming. Cool. Right. Pen and things. So pens come in different sizes. So I usually do an outline in like a 0.8 is quite big. Maybe I'll go for it because I did say I wanted a bit of a cartoony thing. And then do the details kind of smaller. You just have to make sure that the paint is properly dry, which I think this is. And then you go for it because this ain't coming off. So here we go, guys. Fingers crossed. I definitely think concentrating and talking is going to be quite interesting. Because I am totally focusing on this right now. Sorry, that's a tense, concentrated section then. Just finished the rifles. Oh my god, the little eye is so cute! The little eye is so cute! Kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, I am going to add some texture, but what I want to check out first is this push the pen. Actually, usually needs, I need like a bit of scrap paper. Do I have any scrap paper? Let's have a look. Yeah, I do. Around me have these this pin badges, which I need to add to my jacket. That's got a bit of cardboard. So we will just do that. You have to like pump the colour out so that it comes out. There you go. Whee! Okay, cool. Again, a couple of videos for the TikTok. It's a bit darker maybe than the actual thing, but I think that works. The other thing I could have done is I could have like saved that space and used what is it? There's like that little like wax stuff that you put over things and rub off later. That also would have worked. But I quite like that this really highlights the blue. Look at that. Look how cool that comes out. Let's lift that up for you to kind of like see a bit better. Like how shiny and blue that is. That's pretty cool. Okay. Now I normally add details in like a lot smaller color. So compared to 0.8, 0.2 is pretty good. Like texture wise. It just helps add like a few hints and touches of hard a bit with this one though, because it is so like smooth. Let's not overdo it with the pen versus like being able to show that it's like a 3D thing. I do love to just have like a few lines on something can take it from being quite flat to quite like a curved look. Hey! How do I look? Can be like, hey Sam, you've caught me at like the point at which I am doing like, permanent pen. So I've gone into like focus mode, which is probably terrible for live streaming, but there we go. How are you? Hope you're all good. I'm drawing a nudie brank. Here we go. We're almost done. Not quite. We've got some nice white highlights to add in. I'm going to add... Problem with Posca pens is that sometimes they get like pen on the paint on the nib. So I always worry when I go in with this one that I'm going to start putting in another colour instead of white. But I might try and go in with this first and get some of the extra white highlights that we didn't have before. Just to... It's not very white at all because it's already white. It's difficult when, I mean, I could have maybe painted it a bit darker so that when the white comes on, it like appears a bit brighter, but I didn't want to overdo it by making the nudie brank too dark. Oh, cool. I love that the white adds that highlight. That's nice. I think that looks really good. Cool. I also think I'll add in some like texture with pencil to the background because I'm addicted to outlining things. But I don't want to outline it in black because I think that it will like take away from the nudie brank. But I think we do need a bit of texture. And I also didn't think about the shadow under the actual new rank itself, so I might have to come back in and add that. I'm going to start adding just a bit of texture. So this is a tube worm. If anyone has been rock pooling or they grow on the bottom of boats a lot, they have a ridge, which I'm kind of putting in now, and this ridge is sharp as anything. But they always say that like barnacles usually give you like barnacle kind of paper cuts when you go rock pooling, but these are like the real and absolute they're just so sharp. I mean, they're really cool. They come out from here and they're like this beautiful many-armed kind of like filter feeders that have lots of gorgeous patterns. They're a bit shy, so you have to kind of watch them for a bit for them to come out and kind of start feeding when you're around. But they're gorgeous. Just the fact that you have to be so careful when you're rock pooling and you like have them drop on you, because it's just like not the worm drops on you, but like if you've got like a rock and you drop it and it slips on your fingers, really, and gotta be really careful with these guys. So just as a future reference, if you see them, watch your fingers. These are really cool. I'm just going in like loosely and adding texture. Like I'm adding some. So this seaweed is most likely, and I haven't zoomed in to properly identify it, but like it's a thing called like banded pincerweed, which is called that because it has these little bands on it. So I'm just going to add a few like stripes to it. So hopefully that kind of adds a bit of texture, I suppose. It doesn't distract too much from the rest of the painting. I like drawing with mechanical pencils, which, I'm just realising this was run out of lead. I said, I've just doomed that. Just as I said, I love drawing with mechanical pencils and went to like refill it. We have lost the lead in the mechanical pencil. I don't know if I've got another pencil close by. That's so annoying. That's really quite funny. Oh no. Come on, we're so close to the end. oh no, we've got a bit of lead, but it's too short to keep working. This is what I'm doing now. Can you see this? Where is it? I'm trying to hold the extra bit of lead because it just keeps going back in because it's too short. So I'm having to like pull it out and hold it just for the last few minutes of this live stream. Just to get the final touches of texture and stuff onto this painting. That's really quite funny. Well, I'll add that to buying paintbrushes because apparently for someone that's about to do Sealife art streams, I'm very underprepared. I've run out of pencil lead. I've run out of pencil options. I could go get another pencil, but I feel like I'm committed now to the chaos that has been caused with this pencil. It's not that much chaotic. It's very little chaos actually, but it's attempted chaos at the very least. It's Nature Journaling Week and Wildlife Trust go wild soon, and so Nature Journaling Week is like everyone that does nature journaling, which is like I've done that before on the channel. It's this incredible like amount like you go out and you can just journal in nature, but it's about capturing the experience more. Like how do you go outside and like take that like incredible how do you enrich that? That's the word I'm looking for. How do you enrich your experience outside when you go and exceed nature more by kind of journaling or documenting, but so it means you're considering like not just like, oh, can I draw well while I'm outside? Because you don't have a lot of time when you're outside, especially if you're seeing stuff that's moving fast. And so they have this week every year where people kind of get together and kind of share tips, and there's lots of workshops, and they have prompts each day. And so you're considering things like smell and like aroma and texture and things. And that's what I really love about rock pooling, is that there's so many different textures. Like if you're going out and you're just holding a rock, and you can just feel like there's I described something earlier as snotty, and then there's like crunchy, and all of these different amazing cool things. And so I just wanted to make sure, even though the pencil isn't cooperating, that that texture is kind of extra conveyed by the pencil in this, because it is just so varied when it comes to rock pooling. There are lots of cool options to draw. If the pencil lead stopped going back inside the pencil. I just want to feel about that shadow. I might have to go back in with paint, which I often don't do, which is freaky. Because I feel like the rest of it's there pretty much, except for maybe I could add a bit more texture, but we'll deal with that later. I might put in another tube worm here, just in. Yes, I think we might have to paint that in. Oh, wish me luck. Hopefully it doesn't run. They are waterproof, like water something pencils, but I just feel like we need a bit of a shadow here. Even darker. Or else it's going to look like it's floating, which it's not. It is very slowly crawling along to go and eat some hydroids and anemones and get even prettier and steal all of its powers. Ooh, see, this would be the point at which in a time lapse, when you're like going back to look at it, you're like, oh, that's when she ruined it. Might be slightly too dark, but I think we're getting away from it. Are we getting away with it? I hope so. Okay, Okay, don't touch anymore. Don't touch anymore. Okay, I think that's a bit better. Right, I just want to add some texture to that seaweed, and then if the pencil will let me, and then I think we're good to go. I was going to say before it gave up on me that I like to use mechanical pencils because they give you a really fine line, and it's nice and clean that you can work with. So it's acting right now, except for the fact that the lead keeps coming out, very similar to the fine line pens, which means we can kind of add a layered outline without it being this whole thing. Whereas the like a normal lead pencil, you would have to really work hard to get that like consistent line texture. But these are naff for like shading and all that kind of stuff. Just dragging my hand across the paper. Okay, I think we are largely done, except for we get to do the exciting reveal of the taking off of the thing. Let me just do some TikTok recording. Let's get some nice angles for the. Okay, this is the exciting bit. I'm gonna clear the way. Let's get it as aesthetically pleasing as possible for the reveal. Mainly because I think the yellow is quite nice because it matches it is matching the fold that way. There we go. Clearing that up. It is matching the little these are called rhinopholes. These are basically its sensory thing, so it's a bit like a taste and smell, but with little ears that go around, and then they're not actually ears, so they're just kind of in the position of ears, just to clarify. Right, let's go with, make sure it's in front. Please don't rip the paper, because I've not used this washi tape before. Oh no, that's satisfying. Is this not unbelievably satisfying? Look at that. This is my favourite bit. Oh, yay! Oh, it's so clean. Look at this. That is very nice. Sometimes you get washi tape that likes to rip the paper, but today it is being my friend. The final one. Oh, nice. Nice. Is that not super satisfying? Awesome. That's so cool. Let's just get a bit of a close-up for you. This is our friend. We're going with Brian, unless you want to comment anything different. Phaseolina auriculata, because we like to name things in Latin as scientists and thinks the primary way is to try and embarrass everyone by getting the pronunciation wrong. But I'd like to say to that, you can't get the pronunciation wrong because no one can get it right. So just say whatever you want with confidence. With some nice little, we've got some tube worms there, we've got some little baby seaweeds, a bit of sponges, but an inconspicuous gunk, which makes up quite a bit of the stuff you'll find. And again, this little thing in person was like smaller than my fingertip. So we've blown it up nice and large. And he's quite cute. I did want a cartoony kind of look, and I think that kind of came off. What I particularly like is the shimmery blue And his little eye is so cute. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. So I'm going to pop back over to the main thing and just have me and my new nudie brand painting. Hello. And this was my first ever, well, I suppose properly arty live stream and on Twitch. I am wrong hand MarineMumbles. And so I'm going to be coming back and doing this tomorrow. I will be back doing this for Subnautica, starting gaming, doing a bit of gaming streaming, talking about marine things there. And this was the first one. It was a trial attempt. We're going to be doing a lot more. I've got so many cool, fun plans, ways that you can interact, ways that you can pick and choose what we're doing. I will give you a preview of maybe some of the ideas. I want to do a deep sea stream where we draw from a deep sea thing. I want to draw a gnome made out of seaweed because that has to happen. I want to do lots of different things, including maybe some sculptures, and there'll be ways to support me to do that, whether it's choosing through voting, or I think I'm going to set up a Patreon as well, and on there you can kind of choose kind of stuff too. But I wanted to try and live stream first and understand a bit more about it before I jumped in with all those. So look out for those in the future. But thank you all for watching. For those of you who watched live, for those of you watching later, this is the first of many. And hopefully you have learnt some amazing facts about sea slugs, mainly that they like to eat the body organs of other creatures so that they can look beautiful and survive. And on that note, I think we should end the stream. But have a great day, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow for a live stream of gaming. And you can catch me on YouTube every week with a video and twice a week with streaming now. Bye, everyone.